I'd like to call to order the 1,452nd meeting of the President and the Board of Trustees for the Village of Machesney Park on this second day of July 2018. Please rise for invocation given this evening by Clerk Lori Mitchell, and please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trustee Terry Bailey.
Let us pray. Lord God, thank you for getting us through the heat last week and providing us a little relief with the rain. Thank you for this opportunity, God, to serve you and to serve our community by working with the Village of Machesney Park and all the great things that are happening here. We just ask that you continue to bless us and give us strength to serve our community and you. In your precious name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please take roll?
Mayor Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Sipes.
Here.
Schmidt is absent. Kidd.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Bailey.
Here.
Beck.
Here.
Clerk is present. The attorney is present.
We have a quorum. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the June 18th board meeting.
So made. Second.
Got a motion and a second. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes have been approved. Next, we have Treasurer's Report from Treasurer Bradley Robinson.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Treasurer's Report as of June 25th, 2018 reflected what the village received in motor fuel tax funds of $49,525.13 and billed Machesney Road funds of $306,699.73. The total of all funds was $11,781,850.57. A copy of the report is available at the back of the room. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to accept the Treasurer's Report.
So made. Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Treasurer's Report has been approved. Next, we'll have communications from Clerk Lori Mitchell.
Thank you, Your Honor. A couple things this evening. Just a reminder, if you haven't called in those beautiful yards, call Village Hall to nominate for July. Those winners will be announced at our next board meeting on July 16th. Also, Village received information from Spectrum television lineup. Spectrum will cease carrying channels 270, 765 HD service levels for Latino View, SPP Latino View. And that's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next, we'll have the warrant. Trustee Joe Sipes.
Thank you, Your Honor. I present the warrant in the amount of $640,331.97 and move for their authorization.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please take roll?
Trustee Kidd.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Sipes.
Aye.
Schmidt is absent. 5 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent.
Bills have been approved. Next on the agenda is administrative reports. On Tuesday, June 26, I attended the Welcome Home Parade and a reception for the Harlem girls bowling team. National champions again for the second year in a row. Congratulations, way to go, Harlem girls. I would like also to congratulate the Harlem boys bowling team on finishing 12th in the nationals. I also attended the June 27th meeting along with Chad Hunter and our Public Works Director and Trustee Aaron Wilson with the residents for Cadet, Scott, Juniper regarding the Machesney Park Road projects involving reconstruction and portions of these streets considered. The presentation was given by Chris Dopkins, village engineer from the main group, and it was very informative and contained a lot of useful information. This project will help address the drainage issues and provide a remedy for frequent flooding in these areas. I would like to thank Home Depot for their gift of providing and installing a new roof for Michael R. Wood, a deserving Marine Corps veteran in Machesney Park. The roof was in dire need. It was really dilapidated, and they really did a great job of putting the new roof on his home. And I want to thank Home Depot for stepping up and doing this. It's very, very considerate. I also want to thank Mike Sterling from the Legis Bar and Grill, which I spoke of on Thursday. They provided all the food for all the workers.
Bless you.
Thank you again to everyone involved in this worthy project. Las Panchos Mexican Grill and Cantina is coming to Machesney Park. This is their second location. Their first location is in Sycamore. They're taking the former Egg Express over in the town center, and they will be hiring 10 to 15 employees, and they plan to open up in August. This restaurant is authentic Mexican croissant in a comfortable atmosphere, offering both unique and classic Mexican dishes while serving the community's desire for more sit-down dining. Another new business coming to Machesney Park is Quantum Design. They'll be building their North American headquarters at the intersection of I-90 and Route 173. It's roughly about 100,000 square foot building, and they plan on moving their 90 employees into their new building early in 2019. Continuing on with the administrative reports, next would be Attorney Tom Green.
No report tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next would be Village Administrator Tim Savage.
No report as well, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next would be Finance and Human Resource Manager Michelle Johansson.
No report.
Thank you. Next would be Community Development Director James Richter.
No report here this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next would be Superintendent of Public Works Chad Hunter.
Quick update on the new garbage contract. I talked with Rock River Disposal today, and our toters have been ordered, but as of now, they do not have a delivery date for us. As soon as they get me that date, I'll get notice out so everybody will know when those will be delivered. Thank you.
Thank you. Next would be Village Engineer Chris Topkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. A brief update on ongoing projects in the village. The Orlando improvements started last Wednesday. The contractor's installing storm sewer improvements and will be doing so through the end of this week. We're expecting to go into core out next week and curb and gutter the week thereafter. This area is pretty busy, of course, because we have Lowe's and Machesney Crossings and Kelly Williamson, and of course it feeds the neighborhoods. And it has gone rather well despite the traffic loading. We do ask that folks find an alternate way to go in and out of those places in the time that the contractor's working. It's just a much more safe environment for them and for the folks who are trying to get to those stores. The Scott Cadet Juniper improvements, the contracts have been executed. We've been going through submittals. And as you mentioned, we did conduct the resident meeting last week. That went well. The contractor also completed exploratory digs on Scott Lane to expose some sanitary services. The structures for this project are all specialty made and specialty order. And they take time to build and then cure before they can be sent out to the job site. As of right now, we're thinking that those structures could be ready as soon as July 11th or up to as late as July 16th. So once those structures are ready, the contractor is going to get going on the construction out there, beginning with storm sewer up at Scott Lane. That's all I have this evening, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Public Safety Supervisor Lieutenant Pete Delprado.
No report, Your Honor.
Thank you. Next would be Committee and Trustee Reports. Is there any trustee that have a report this evening? Trustee Sipes?
Thank you, Your Honor. Administration and Finance Committee met this evening, and we heard two resolutions that will be going to July 16th board meeting with a positive recommendation, and one to tonight's board meeting with a positive recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bailey?
Thank you. The Planning and Economic Development Committee met this evening, and we have one ordinance and one resolution that will go to the August 6th board meeting with positive recommendations. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what's wrong? It's July 16th.
July 16th board meeting with positive recommendations.
Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Anyone else? Hearing none, next would be consent agenda. Would the staff present all items to be considered in the consent agenda, please?
Tonight's consent agenda consists of Item A, Ordinance 2618, an ordinance regulating the installation, placement, and operation of small cell tower wireless facilities, first reading. Item B, Ordinance 2118, granting of a variance from Chapter 23 entitled Substantial Improvement Regulations for 9602 Short Drive, final reading. Item C, ordinance 2818, a variance for an accessory building size and height at 11051 Ventura Boulevard, first reading. Item D, ordinance 2318, text amendment to Chapter 9, the liquor regulations, creating a Class MT theater liquor license, final reading. Item E, ordinance 2818, an ordinance adopting the prevailing rate of wages, final reading. Item F, resolution 32R18, authorizing the transfer of a Class R liquor license, Molly's Deli, 1405C West Lane Road. Item G, resolution 33R18, granting of a driveway variance at 8321 Mildred Road. Item H, resolution 34R18, granting of a driveway variance 982 Candy Lane. Item I, resolution 35R18, authorizing the Rockford Mass Transit District intergovernmental agreement. Item J, resolution 36R18, accepting Dixon's Acres and Dixon's Pines public improvements and releasing the escrow funds. Item K, resolution 37R18, authorization to enter into a redevelopment agreement with Quantum Design Incorporated. Item L, resolution 42R18, awarding of a construction contract for the 2018 pavement maintenance program to William Charles. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are there any items the trustee would like removed from the consent agenda to be considered separately? Trustee Beck?
C, ordinance 2218.
Ordinance 2218, variance, okay? So, item C, ordinance 2218, variance for accessible building size and height, 11051 Ventura Boulevard, final reading, will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately under unfinished business. Is there any others? Having none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So made.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Will the clerk please take roll?
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Sipes.
Aye.
Schmidt is absent. Kidd.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye. The
6 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent.
consent agenda has been approved. Next, we'll go to unfinished business. I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2218, variance for accessible building size and height, 11051 Ventura Boulevard, final reading. May I have a motion?
So made.
Second.
And a motion and a second? Could I have staff report?
Yes, thank you. The subject property is a large wooded residential lot. The home on the property is not owner-occupied, but the owner of the property wishes to construct a large garage on the lot to accommodate his motorhome. At 4.2 acres, the lot is a lot larger than the standard lots here you see in town, but we have in our ordinances a restriction to the maximum size of an accessory structure of 1,800 square feet and a height of 15 feet. The proposed garage is 2,400 square feet in size and 24 feet tall. Due to the wooded nature of the lot and the size of it, the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Planning and Economic Development Committee felt that, for the most part, that it was not going to have a negative impact on the surrounding properties, and positive recommendations were forwarded, both from staff and from each of those committees. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have any discussion? Trustee Beck.
Thank you, Your Honor. I spoke out against this particular ordinance in committee level and voted no on the consent agenda at the last meeting. And the reason I did that is we're open Pandora's box for anyone who wants to buy one of these longer lots that has the square footage of the lot property where they can build these larger buildings. We have an ordinance that allows for a 10% increase for height and area of a building. If a citizen needs that. But here we're increasing it by 33%. and the height is considerably higher. And I think what we're doing here, we're opening Pandora's box, and we're going to have an avalanche of people buying these larger properties and having these oversized buildings. I think that's not conducive to what we want to do in the village, and I'll be voting no on this ordinance.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Trustee Kidd?
I'll be voting yes. I think it's appropriate that people do not park their vehicles on grass, gravel, on the side of their yards. And I think if we can maintain a professional space where somebody can put their motor home, their boats, their cars in, and if somebody has the ability to afford that type of luxury, I think we should allow it. Thank you, and I'll be voting yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please take a roll call?
Trustee Bailey.
Aye.
Beck.
Nay?
Sipes.
Aye.
Kidd.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Mayor Johnson.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 nay, and 1 absent.
Ordinance 2218 has passed for final reading. Next would be going to news business, which we have none. And next would be public comment. Is anyone in the audience would like to address the board for the good of the village? George, you want to just come ahead?
Yeah.
Just for your name and your address for the record, please.
George Parnell, 10045 Jensen Drive. 3 things. Number 1, I'm burning. I think the people should have the right to vote on that. In November, I think it's coming up. Number 2, all my neighbors I talk to are against the liquor in movie theaters. I know it's a money thing. And number 3, on the garbage cans, I've been in the village before the village was here. Every garbage can I had was always broken by the garbage people, not me. Even the ones I got, and they're not cheap either. I don't know if you ever bought one. Plastic, and the metal ones, forget those, they'll bang that one up. I know the new ones they grab. One of the big garbage cans they have won't fit all my garbage bags. Will they still pick up black bags? Nobody knows? Yes, they will?
Yes.
If it's a consistent problem, we'll get you another.
They will.
We'll get you another toter.
Because at Christmas time, Thanksgiving, all those holidays, you have more on those things. But the liquor and the burning should, I'm against that too. What are they going to do next in the movie theater? Start smoking pot? Think about it. That's it. Have a good day.
Thank you, thank you. Does anybody else want to address the village, for the good of the village? Seeing none, next would be adjournment. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So made.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.